Could Private Party capture lightning in a bottle twice and upset the Young Bucks in the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament?
With the CEO on commentary, who would become the number one contender for the TBS title?
And finally, was Swerve Strickland able to punch his ticket to the main event of Dynasty, or did Takeshita spoil the fun? All that and more on this week's episode of Grapple-Sauce. Hit it, Dave!
Hey, Daver here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, this guy's Chad.
And Chandler's back as well. How we doing, Dave?
We're doing pretty good. Coming off a Dynamite from Canada, Quebec City, correct? Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah, got a little French-speaking audience out there in the arena. There was a couple times where they were chanting in French, right? Or am I crazy?
It was most of the show. Like, if I couldn't tell what the chant was, I was like, it's all in French.
Yeah, that is the hardcore French part of the country. They have like laws about signage, like X amount of signs have to be in French and stuff. It is predominantly French there.
At one point, Taz was like, "Oh yeah, they're saying don't go or something," and I'm like, "No, that's not what they're saying at all." But yeah, it was cool. Pretty darn good episode. I will say the ratings did not reflect that it was that good of an episode. They got like 700 and something thousand. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but they had pretty great matches, great talent, big names. Do we got sports going on?
No,
competing right now?
I think Big Business got a big pop because of, it was like the CM Punk Rampage episode, right? Worst kept secret. Everyone is expecting at least a big debut. And then the following week, it was hyped up for a while. It was the Cope Christian 3, right? So it was an I Quit match. So that kind of was also held on. But I don't think there was anything like there's big stuff for AEW fans. Like we got to see Osprey and Shibata and Takeshita and Swerve, but I hate to say it, none of those names are really draws to a modern or a casual audience.
Yeah, they're not great. A lot of big crossovers.
Yeah, they're phenomenal talent. They're worldly talent. They're just not draws yet. I think people like Osprey could definitely be a Swerve or could be a draw in like a year or so, but they gotta like keep building. They gotta keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed the show. Kind of sometimes when I go back for my rewatch to fine tune my notes is when I get into the episode even more. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. I get more hyped and I'll watch like the Shibata Osprey match. The second time around, I was on the edge of my seat even more than when I watched it live. So, yeah, great episode. Shibata, that guy. And Will Osprey did his very best to make Shibata look like a champion too. So
yeah, a lot of good smoke and mirrors that match.
Yeah.
Whoa, smoke and mirrors.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of AEW news really to talk about before we get into the episode, other than Tony Khan's little cheeky dig at Eric Bischoff. Apparently, Strictly Business is going to be ending, and Tony Khan had a little dig at Eric Bischoff. I wish I had it right here next to me. I was looking for it, the exact wordage, but yeah. Eric Bischoff had to come back at him. Man, something about it. I just am over their little petty stuff, like on both parts. Like
Tony Khan, delete your Twitter. You're not making your company look any better. At least Eric Bischoff just runs a podcast, right? Yeah. He's not doing much. He probably should be better, but he doesn't have to. He's not doing much. He's not the owner of a company.
Yeah. Yeah, they can cut that out. Let's see. Yeah, not a whole lot going on news-wise. WrestleMania is pretty much kind of taken a lot of the shine from the wrestling world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched your episode of the WWE cap. Yeah, I don't know. It just I was never into it like from the get go. So none of this like Cody didn't impress me in AEW. Really, like, yeah, I don't know. I know you guys are loving what's going on right now. I just can't get into it. I don't know.
Yeah, teach their own.
I'll try.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think if you watch WrestleMania, which I think you're planning on it, right? I
Yeah.
think there are like some matches that will win you over. They're not going to like make you love WWE, but you'll probably really enjoy like Gunther, Sami Zayn, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a Gunther match?
No.
Man's crazy, right? Yeah. I remember people being like, this guy's the next big thing. Like, he's the next best wrestler ever. And I was like, oh, he can't be that good. He's just some big guy and he chops people. No, he is. Like, he is one of the best wrestlers alive. He can compete with Okada, Osprey, Omega. Like, he is good. So that'll probably win you over, I hope. But other than that, like, I'm super stoked about the show. Just about every single match I'm looking forward to. I think it'll be a blast. And I sure hope Cody wins this time.
What do we think about MJF? What are we betting?
So I think, I honestly don't think so. I don't think he'll be there. I think you're going to have like Cena and Austin and even Undertaker get involved in that main event. I think MJF is with AEW. Because wasn't that the report that he quietly re-signed? And I was like, oh, he'll be in the Royal Rumble though, and he wasn't. So,
I'm gonna be WrestleMania's Chandler then, and I'm gonna say all hope is gonna be lost for Cody, and then all of a sudden that music's gonna hit, and MJF is gonna help Cody.
I mean, I hope. I hope it's even just like a one-time deal. That would be pretty cool. Like, all right, we get MJF for one night. You can have like Cody for a night, something like that.
Oh, they need our truth.
We get MJF. You get our truth. You're welcome, AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, not a whole lot of like big time news or anything breaking going on. Do you have anything really pressing?
There was blood on Raw. CM Punk's probably going to be commentating for WrestleMania, but they all announced that was all on Raw, so it's not like that's big news. Really don't think so.
Nothing really newsworthy.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get right into Dynamite, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, we get a match to start off the episode. My boy Will Osprey versus Katsuyori Shibata. We get a cool video package of their match from 7 years ago. Little baby Will Osprey.
Little young boy.
Yeah. That was cool getting that little background there. We get Shibata getting Osprey in the Juju Katami, and he gets to the ropes. Shibata went for a PK kick, but Osprey ducked out of the way. Smooth as hell. Osprey hits Shibata with a drop kick while sitting in the corner. Shibata gives Osprey a suplex on the ramp, then a round kick to Osprey's back, and Shibata sits in the ring cross-legged. Later on, Osprey blocks a figure 4 from Shibata, and Osprey jumps over the guardrail when Shibata whips him over it. After that, they exchange elbow strikes, and so we get 4 strikes from Osprey, nothing, and then 1 strike from Shibata.
Oof.
Osprey's down on the mat. That happened multiple times in the match. Then Shibata did this awesome jab chop combo to Osprey while Osprey was in the corner. Oh, loved it. We get a drop kick to Osprey in the corner, which is payback from earlier. They counter abdominal stretches until Shibata gets a flying octopus hold on Osprey. And we get the old 3 shots from Osprey, 1 from Shibata. Shibata was no-selling chops like a madman. I don't know how he was able to compose himself. Osprey kips up into a high round kick to Shibata. Shibata gets a sleeper on Osprey. Then we get an Oz cutter to Shibata, but Shibata kicks out at 1. I wrote down here the crowd was super quiet. Like, it was not a hot crowd to me. Osprey hit a Tiger Driver for 2, not a Tiger Driver 91. Osprey hits a Hidden Blade for the win. They bow and show respect to each other. Fantastic match. I know I say it a lot, but thank you, AEW, for introducing me to incredible New Japan talent that I never would have saw before.
I mean, these guys are AEW talent too, so they snatched them up, but they're just letting them run wild. But piggyback off what you said, I love this match. This was not my match of the night, obviously, but this was a fantastic match. I loved the little bit where Osprey went for an Oz cutter, and Shibata just like sidestepped it and slapped him in a sleeper, and Osprey threw him into a suplex. I thought that was a great little bit. And then I loved that ending. You kind of brushed over what I thought was like my favorite part. So Osprey hit the Tiger Driver, and then Shibata like soared up to get back into a sitting position just in time for Osprey to nail one more Hidden Blade. I was like, this Shibata's a beast. He looks so good in this. So this was a great match to start off Dynamite.
Yeah, I thought Osprey did an amazing job of using his like pro wrestler dark arts to make it look like he was laying into Shibata's head. Like, head trauma was a big story beat on a dude whose like literal brain has been outside of his body during a like terrible surgery after a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he made Shibata look like a beast, like taking those shots and no selling, and they looked like stiff shots. They obviously weren't, but Osprey is just the master. It was great. And I loved how they'd slow it down, then all of a sudden just blinding speed into a move. Like it was a roller coaster. It was a great match, all told.
Osprey's going to hit 5 Tiger Driver 91s on Danielson. Like he's like, I'm just going to snap your neck, brother.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, incredible match. I am a Will Ospreay mark. That energy, it just permeates through the arena. Like he's got the crowd in the palm of his hand during that intro, that theme music. He's got it
when he's on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, we're that kid's got something.
You stole my line. I was just about to say, I was like, I think this Osprey guy, he's all right. He's pretty good. He's found his mark.
Yeah. Good stuff. I liked the respect at the end too, the bow. Cool. Yeah. After that, we get a Bryan Danielson kind of video package thing. I kind of liked how it was Excalibur, but he was like talking slow and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a great narrator when he does that.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about Danielson being basically trained by Shawn Michaels, his Ring of Honor career, all the titles he won, main eventing Ring of Honor, pay-per-views. Talked about his injury, career-ending injury. Then they showed his AEW debut and all the matches he's had in AEW. Basically, Danielson said he will not go gently into that good night. He's got a lot more to offer, and I'm looking pretty darn forward to Danielson Osprey at Dynasty.
Yeah, it'll be at least 3.25 stars, maybe even 3.5 if Dave is feeling lucky.
Old Uncle Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with the Daver.
Yeah, the Daver would give it 6 stars. He knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. Cool. After that, we get Renee backstage with Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. We got Nicholas doing that smirk in the camera. Oh my god, that got me, dude. It was so good.
Is this an ambush?
Yep. So she wanted to know their goals now. Nicholas is mad. He accuses her of ambushing them. He said he wanted Marvez, and then Marvez is better looking anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you smile for me more?
Yeah. Matthew says their goals were to retire Sting, and they did it. Their goal was to restructure the Elite and bring in Okada, and they did it. But their most important goal is to win back the AEW tag titles. They said lightning never strikes in the same place twice. And Matthew tells Renee to smile more. Rude.
You missed the best part because she was like, "How do you feel about Private Party beating you the last time?" And he cut her off immediately. Went, "That ruined my life for an entire year."
Yeah, that was a pretty big upset when that win happened back then. Yeah, that was early
the
on.
Second episode. Like at this point, like we didn't know. We were like, oh, it's the Bucks. Like they're part of the reason why the all Elite's here. Like they're clearly gonna win. Oh, geez,
they're out. They're out.
Yeah, I remember Private Party jumping out in the crowd and like the crowd celebrating with them. Yeah, good moment.
That was that whole tournament won by Kenny Omega and Adam Page? Were they the first tag team champions? No, was it Lucha Bros?
Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky were the first AEW tag champs.
Yeah,
glad we're doing stuff with them still.
Man, I miss Scorpio, man. I really wish I knew what was going on. He gets hurt a lot. So
well, they basically said he was coming back with Collision, right? Because it was like, oh, this is all the bad boys. So Punk, Andrade, Miro, Thunder Rosa, Scorpio Sky, and 2 of those are gone. So you're not 3, but Thunder Rosa's kind of just back. Like she's back, and Miro's injured. But
Dante Martin apparently is also back.
Oh, he's been back.
True. True that. Cool, yeah. So right after that little interview, we go right into the tag team quarterfinals. Young Bucks versus Private Party 2. We get a cool little called it a leg trade between the two teams, passing off the legs between each other. But Private Party came out on top with that with some super kicks to the Bucks. Zay and Mark do the silly string on the barricade, which I love that move. It looks cooler in the ring, but they pulled it off. Nicholas hit Smart Quinn with a Falcon arrow on the floor off the balcony. That was cool. Okada watches on backstage. Private Party barely beat the 10 count to get back in the ring. Mark Quinn gives Matthew Jackson a side effect. Brother Zay dives on Nick and almost pins Matthew in the ring. Bucks hit an assisted sliced bread and they cover Zay, but Quinn breaks the pin. Private Party hit gin and juice on Nicholas, then hit more bang for your buck on the Young Bucks, which they tried to do on Private Party a little earlier. But Nicholas distracts the ref with the ring bell, and Matthew kicks Brother Zay in the balls. Quinn hits Matthew with the title belt. Zay covers Matthew, but Nicholas puts Matthew's leg on the rope. The Bucks hit Quinn with a EVP trigger. Even though Nick kind of slipped a little bit when he hit it, they got the win. They have advanced in the tournament. I didn't think they were going to capture Lightning twice. Would have been cool.
Yeah. I love this version of the Bucks in ring, though. They're methodical and vicious, but they're also, yet again, to use that, like they use the dark arts, like they're always in the right position. Like they let Private Party get their shit in. They looked amazing. Like it was a very well told match, all in all. I thought. I don't know. What do you think, Chandler?
I actually really liked this match. Not better than the Osprey Shibata match, but I thought this was a lot of fun. And one of the things I liked most about it was Private Party looked on par with the Bucks. Like it felt like whenever the Buck, especially I loved the little bit where I think you said Matthew low blowed Isaiah, and then Quinn just slunk back in with the title. It's like, oh, if you can cheat, we can cheat too. I really loved that bit. And then the gin and juice they hit, like it looked desperate, but they nailed it. I loved this whole match. And then I really wanted the Bucks to win because I actually want them to win this whole stupid tournament. So I was happy with it. I was fine with it. And then I loved the little bit at the end where Matthew, like, I think it was Mark Quinn, he was forcing a fist bump with him because he was like selling and he was uncautious. He's like, yeah, good job, brother. Good job. So I ate this whole match up. I thought it was a lot of fun.
So you think we're gonna get EVPs against FTR in the finals?
Yeah, because I think that'll be it. Which I'm not stoked about because I'm not the biggest FTR fans, and I really don't want FTR to win that. Which I think equal chance of either team.
I'd actually love to see them against Big Bill and Starks. That'd be kind of badass.
That is not happening because FTR got to get their win back. Which that makes me sad. I would love to see Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Bucks, but not happening.
Yeah, I think I would like that too. Well, moving on here, we get Don Callis putting over Takeshita. Says Takeshita is going to take Swerve's #1 contender spot for the AEW World Title. He also kind of says it may be Swerve's house, but it's the Callis family neighborhood. And Takeshita's going to burn it all down. After that, they show a SUV rolling up, and it's Mercedes Moné arriving to the arena. After that, we get Darby Allin with Tony Hawk. Darby Allin is talking about how he can't climb Mount Everest now because he broke his foot. They talk about the skate park project for kids. And Darby lets Tony Hawk, I think Excalibur called it, plant on Darby's broken foot when he's on the half pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, they should have put Tony Hawk in the AEW Fight Forever, huh?
Right?
I'm sure this partnership just started. Like it hasn't been around for a bit. Or I think he was saying he was climbing Everest for the charity, which
yeah.
They never mentioned.
Tony Hawk's been on Dynamite with Darby like maybe 2 or 3 times in the history.
That's actually pretty cool. I thought I don't know. I thought this was the first time, so I was like, "Hey, that's really cool that they got Tony Hawk because Tony Hawk always is cool." So, but
him and Darby are like actual legit friends, I believe. Like, yeah, cool stuff.
Here I was thinking I was clever, being like, "Oh, they're gonna bring Tony Hawk in for a match, and he'll cause Darby something," and it's like, "Oh no, he's already been in. He's already been here."
Yeah, still cool to see him though.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever Tony Hawk actually has a podcast, Hawk and Wolf, and they had Taker on it once, and that was pretty fantastic. It was definitely worth a listen to.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Cool, yeah. After that, we get Renee backstage with Jericho and Hook. We get to find out what Jericho wants to propose to Hook. Jericho said Hook proved himself, and Jericho wants to be there to give Hook advice. He said he's never been a manager, but Hook says basically, yeah, no big, that'll work.
Where are we going with this, guys? I think
Is
we were too
Jericho
mean
going to be
to
a manager?
I think we were too mean to Jericho. He's having a crisis of faith.
Right?
Yeah. Is he just going to be a manager now?
No, there's going to
don't
be
know.
an angle, and he's going to get him in the back. Before you know it, it'll be Jericho and Hook for the FTW championship.
Why though? Why? Also, I didn't know. He said that Jericho was Hook's first pinfall in AEW. Is that true? Does he just not have like a finisher? He only has the
No, I
red
guess
rum.
everything's been red rum. Yeah.
Right. That's actually pretty cool. I'll give them that. That's a neat little touch.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this until I see it because I don't really believe that Jericho's going to be his manager. So what I'm just saying, like, what's the end game here? Because I was actually okay with them being a tag team. I was marginally fine compared to everything else Jericho has done. I was okay with it. So we'll see. We'll let it play out.
It was really ambiguous about what he was getting at. Like, are they going to team together? Like, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll let it play out.
Maybe they're making a Chris Jericho family to rival the Don Callis family. It's not over.
Hook, Atlantis Jr.
Kenny Omega, he's got to still be in this. He's not going to be with the Young Bucks.
Ghetto Jr. All right. Next up, we got our number one contender match for the TBS title. Four-way match. We got Statlander, Willow, Sky Blue, and Anna Jay. Seems like Anna Jay kind of gets thrown in every four women match, like you were kind of saying off air, Chad.
Not the one at Wembley, the one that was in honor of all the 4 women matches that AEW has traditionally done. Not that one, but every other one she's been in.
You have a long-standing tradition of women's 4-ways.
They have a long-standing tradition of not taking the division seriously and cobbling together a feud before it starts. I mean, Monet's here. It's all fixed, right?
CEO. CEO.
COO?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Triple H?
Yeah. We get Monet on commentary, which that probably didn't need to happen. Man, I gotta say, Anna Jay's back kicks, like, dude, like that's kind of her bread and butter right there. Yeah, she's come so far from when she was 99 in the Dark Order, handpicked by Brody Lee. Man, yeah, she was basically a green rookie. She had wrestled like 3 matches or something when she got hired by AEW. Yeah, good stuff. At one point, Sky Blue grabs Statlander's leg from the outside, and Willow pounces her on the floor. Anna Jay superplexes Statlander. Sky Blue gives Willow the code blue, and Anna Jay breaks up the pin. Anna Jay stacked up Sky Blue, and Statlander goes for the pin, but only gets 2. Willow and Statlander square off, kind of realizing, oh yeah, we might have to wrestle each other too. But they get attacked by Sky Blue. Willow knocks down Statlander by mistake, and Willow then gives Sky Blue a Death Valley driver on the apron. Hell yeah. Anna Jay counters the Wednesday Night Fever from Statlander into a pin for 2, and Willow gives Anna Jay a Doctor Bomb for the win. But she can't celebrate for very long because Julia Hart shows up and hits Willow with the TBS title. Mercedes Moné and Julia stare each other down, and yep, that was a match. There were some good moments, like I don't know, Willow always looks super powerful. I really enjoy Sky Blue. Now that she can hit that code blue with precision almost every time. I really love that. Yeah, all the women looked great. There weren't any noticeable botches really. It was just kind of paint by numbers, kind of predictable kind of match. Um, and then again, Monet, like, man, let like brought nothing to the match having her on commentary. She like didn't seem like she like they asked her a specific question, like
Was it the who do you want to wrestle with? Who in the ring? Who would you want to
well
wrestle?
well she kind of answered that with Statlander eventually, but it was another question and she just like didn't answer it. She just like I don't know. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
I don't want to be too harsh because I've been pretty harsh on Monet, but I think it's at the point where you should stop putting a mic in her hand until she has a match. Like she's already like she's still over, right? So that doesn't matter. But like she's really not doing herself any favors. And like even on this commentary, I wrote down one line, but it was kind of dumb because it was Chris Statlander coming out and she went, "Look at her. She's got the strong. She has the strength." So, like, what does that mean? She looks big? Yeah. No
Yeah,
way.
she's
But
stat. We've been watching her for years. She's amazing.
but I'll talk about some fun stuff. So I like how Willow came out first and then Stokely ran up the ramp again so he could beat back for Chris Statlander. I thought that was cute. There was a great senton from Willow to both, I think, Anna Jay and Chris Statlander. They went for the stack 'em, pack 'em, pin 'em, which do you know what that? Like, can you believe that in some random match on Dynamite? Yeah. Sky Blue's Code Blue looked great, and there was like a little like double team move with Willow and Chris Statlander. That was fine. I was kind of disappointed by this match because it was like, oh, we all know Willow's gonna win. And I was kind of hoping it would swerve, which makes no sense with the Monet story they're telling.
Like
But
Swerve was gonna win
yes.
somehow.
No. So I was like, what if Sky Blue steals this one, right? And it's like setting up, oh, it's going to be Julia Hart versus Sky Blue. And Sky Blue's like, oh, the miss never affected me. This was a long con to get the title off of you. Because Sky Blue only started like teaming up with Hart after Hart won the title. Ooh. So I was like, that could be a pretty interesting story with someone who we weren't expecting. But Willow won. And it's not like I'm against Willow winning. I'm against Willow winning because she's just going to lose to Monet. Yeah. So I can't get too excited about Willow winning if she's just going to be a transitional champ. But if she like beats Monet or has a good run, then that's different. But as of right now, I thought this was pretty disappointing, and I actually really wanted to see something about Toni Storm on the show. Yeah, we did.
Or I would have liked to even see Stat maybe take the chain and like maybe hit Willow or something like really effed up. Like
Statlander finally kind of turns heel or starts being a little bit more heelish and cheats to win. I know it's a fatal 4-way, but no one used a weapon. So Statlander being the only one that used a weapon, that could be interesting. But no, Willow won. Willow's going to beat Julia at Dynasty, and then Mercedes is going to beat Willow.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. And then, like I was saying, I really wanted like Thunder Rosa pinned the women's world champion last week, and that like they didn't mention that she's top of the rankings, but they also didn't mention that.
Yeah. Yeah, everything was kind of predictable. We knew Willow was going to win. I did like your alternate plan of having Sky maybe win that. That would have been a little interesting. But yeah, we'll get there, I guess. Willow taking the belt off and then Mercedes taking it from her at Double or Nothing.
Probably.
Is that what we're thinking?
Probably. And maybe Monet needs to have a match on Dynasty. She needs to. And they're not really anywhere near setting up a match for her, which I don't think is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, even when Punk came out, like by week 2, you knew it was Punk and Darby and Wow,
All in.
Thank you.
All in or all out. It was
All
all out back
out.
then.
Yeah. Might be. But I mean, Osprey. They announced a match for Osprey, like the Collision after Revolution.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting that, but something along that line.
Yeah, we need a Monet match, like way before the pay-per-view. Like, yeah, okay. Maybe that'll help me digest everything.
That's what I'm holding on to. Is we haven't seen her wrestle yet, so I really hope
that's her strength. Like in WWE, even she was kind of same thing. Like she's sort of okay on the mic. She was better when she had a better partner. Like her and Charlotte could go back and forth. But if she was like maybe like against somebody who wasn't as strong on the mic, she also wouldn't be as strong on the mic.
No.
But throw her in the ring, and that's where she was always probably number one. I don't know. I always liked her more than anybody in the ring. But
well, she's also like way better as a heel.
True.
And because I know that, I don't know, just everything she says and does feels really disingenuous to me, at least.
Yeah.
So if she turned heel, then I'd probably buy it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Moving along here, we got Renee backstage with Dustin Rhodes.
The Dustin streak is updated. It's no longer 2-0. It's 3-1. I'm writing this down.
This had my line of the night coming up too. I even
Oh.
texted you guys what it was happening.
So I was like, I didn't know anything about this show. I was like, who could have said that? I was like, maybe like Hangman making a surprise appearance.
Yeah.
I didn't think. I was a little stunned. I was not ready for this.
So we got Dustin saying at 55 years old, he's as passionate as ever. The Butcher walks up, and apparently his mustache smells, and he says it has its own musk.
That's my mustache. It has its own musk. Shit killed me. I don't know why.
I'm not against this, but why is the Butcher getting a sudden push? Is it because he's willing to lose? Like I hate asking this now. Is it's like why are these people on TV again?
Yeah.
Is it because they're
look
gonna
at
lose?
him, man. He got jacked too. Holy crap.
Big fan of the Butcher. I've been waiting for this singles push for a long time. I think he should be called Butch.
Ha! I get that reference. And then people be like, make him the Butcher again. He was better as the Butcher.
So the Butcher challenges Dustin for Rampage. Yeah, that man, I wish I had the will to watch that.
So where's this
It's not
going
enough
with
time.
Dustin? Any guesses? Because this is what happened last time. Is he randomly showed up, had one match, and then he challenged Christian for the title. So is he challenging Adam Copeland for the title? Oh yeah, and two Boomer fights.
He should challenge Roderick Strong.
I think he's
and
above
not win.
that mess.
Duh.
Yeah, maybe it'd be fun.
I like the Cope Open. He's got to show up for the Cope Open.
I'm not kidding. I literally forgot Roderick Strong had the international title because he came out and
he zipped it open.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, he has that. And then I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but when that match started and they were like, oh, Orange Cassidy's fired up, I was like, well, why? That's not his character. That doesn't make sense. And I was like, these are the guys that took his title from him. And that just like left my mind. And I know that's like Orange Cassidy's character is he doesn't like he lost the title. It's like, oh, whatever, I'll move on. I get that. But it makes the Kingdom look worse than they already like it just can't pull the plug. Pull the plug at this point. I don't think you can redeem the Kingdom at this point.
Yeah, they should just have Wardlow go crazy and just destroy all of them and then like, well, I guess we're done.
And then you just send the Kingdom back to Ring of Honor so they can defend their titles. You have someone crush Roderick Strong. Like, I like Roddy, but you just have someone beat him for the title. And then when both MJF and Adam Cole are healed, I think genuinely, if you just stop showing Adam Cole and then had MJF come back and immediately Adam Cole attacks him like they're both healthy, nobody would care. Nobody would be like, what about that group? People would be like, oh, okay, I get it. They're doing the grudge match. So
Yeah, but your plan has one fatal flaw. MJF is showing up at Mania, and he's gonna help Cody finish his story.
my bad. I'm gonna look like such an idiot when MJF shows up.
No,
Well,
the only person that's gonna look like an idiot is this guy.
You know what Cody said, right?
Huh.
If he loses, he's never challenging. Well, he didn't say that, but Paul Heyman said if he loses, he can't challenge for it ever again. So they said it. They said, and then imagine if MJF comes out and everyone's like, "Oh no!" and then he helps Cody. Maybe I am selling myself on this.
Oh man, I like the pitch of Wardlow and MJF annihilating the Kingdom when MJF comes back.
Like, it's not a friendship. It's just like an enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Ooh,
they're like,
can they coexist?
But they do, and they all take them down.
MJF beats Roddy for that belt, or not MJF. Wardlow beats Roddy for that belt as a stepping stone to get to the World Championship.
But like with Swerve and Osprey, I think we're so far away from Wardlow winning that belt. It's not even funny. And it's nothing Wardlow's doing. I think there's just so many other people that could use that belt.
Give him the Ring of Honor Championship from Eddie.
So what was the next segment? Wasn't it Tony Storm, right? Oh, this segment sucked. It's like they were just like, oh, we got to have something about Tony Storm. What do we have? What do we have? And they were like, oh, remember that Ben guy who announced her for like Full Gear or something? Let's just bring him back and have him like it was an outtake they did, and they just saved it. So that's what this felt like.
Yeah, it was bad. The Turner Classic Movie guy, Tony tells him to crispen his pronunciation, and he says, no one says crispen in America. Well, they weren't in America.
North America?
Definitely says that they pre-taped this a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not cool. It was too short. It didn't have any substance. It wasn't neat. Like they did this gimmick.
We're already back to one segment a week. It took 3 weeks of Monet being back. So like I didn't want to be like, oh, I don't think this will change anything, even though I felt that on Big Business, because I was like,
oh yeah.
It was only 2 segments, and one of them was like, okay, yeah, Monet should open the show. And then it was the match they announced a week ago. But that was it. And that's like, there was only one segment on this show. So I think they're just not going to do anything, which is weird.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah. All right, let's see. After that, we get a kind of a Swerve promo here. He says to be number one, you have to hold the AEW gold. Swerve says after he takes out Takeshita, he's coming for Samoa Joe. Yeah. After that, we get a quarterfinal match for the tag team tournament. Orange Cassidy and Trent versus Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. Yeah, it's a shame. I like Matt Taven, I think, the most out of the two. They're good. They've been around for a long time, and you know they're not awful to watch. But the Devil Dumpling Gang it didn't elevate them. I'll tell you that much.
When they came out with Roddy back in the day, aka 3 months ago, they were just kind of comedy fodder, which was fine. And they still feel like comedy fodder. So it's kind of like it doesn't matter what matches they have, like they need to feel different. They don't feel any different. And so like Best Friends versus Undisputed Kingdom, I didn't even think like this would be a hot match because I forgot that they were feuding for like 3 months. I completely forgot it. And so this match, like I don't have anything written down. I felt nothing with this match.
Yeah. No, where was that heat from the death match they had?
Yeah.
like,
That was a good match.
Yeah, there was like not really any reference to it. Like, you two had a death match. Like, you guys should be at each other's throats. And I was like, no, we're just having a match.
Yeah, let's see.
Remember when
Orange
Swerve beat
Cast.
these guys 1-on-1 in 5 minutes? Remember
Yeah,
that?
that
Or
was it.
1-on-2? Sorry to interrupt, but like these guys are just goobers.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy decks Matt Taven when the bell rings. Bennett gives Trent a pile driver on the apron. Trent is isolated until he gets a hot tag to OC, and OC takes down Taven and Bennett. The dumplings go for the Proton Pack, which is awesome. They have a move called the Proton Pack. What? Who you gonna call? Roderick Strong tries to interfere and decks Chucky T. Orange Cassidy dives on Roddy. Trent reverses a pile driver into a pin for the win, thanks to help from Chucky. The best friends go to hug, but they get interrupted by the Young Bucks being raised up from the elevator and then raised back down the elevator.
That was the best part of this match. That was the only thing I wrote down. And I think it was like Taz or Tony Schiavone. They're like, that elevator is expensive to operate. Why are they just using it all night?
Right?
So again, the match didn't matter, but I was like, the Young Bucks are silly.
Well, did you notice too during the cutaway when they were leaving, they actually went back down the elevator?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But
Yeah,
so
stuff.
next week it'll be Young Bucks and Best Friends. Is this where Trent finally turns on Orange Cassidy? Because that's kind of
I
the
thought if he
story.
turned, it would have been tonight or
Right?
on Dynamite.
Well, that's the story they were kind of setting up, was whenever Orange Cassidy would get too focused on beating up the Kingdom, Trent was always in a bad situation in the ring, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe that'll be the case again. But OC doesn't really have beef with the Young Bucks. So he would just have to like go on a tear, I guess. I don't know. They're like kind of telling the story here, but it's not that well baked. So, but it's obviously that Trent's going to turn on OC. It's just when.
Are Chucky and Trent gonna turn?
I think Chucky's going to be caught in the middle. I don't know if they'll have him. I think he'll stick with OC because he's injured still, right?
Yeah.
I always thought Chucky T was more of a Trent stan myself.
I mean, he might be. He very well might just be like, I got to stick with Trent. Sorry, bro. And like, because like that's kind of their whole attitude towards each other. I bet OC would be like, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Whatever we got to do to get Orange Cassidy to be the fire ant again, I'm good. Do you know anything about that, Chandler? Ooh.
was that an old gimmick?
Yep. There's a whole faction, like I can't the Hive or something, like they all wore this like insect gear and like OC was the fire ant and he was badass. Like you got to look up some footage, man.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Cool. Yeah. After that, we get Renee with Kyle O'Reilly. She wants to know if he's or if he has second thoughts about going it alone. And he says he did it last week and he can do it again. So yeah, I just don't see any weird dumpling hidden stuff with that yet. Like there's no clues at all
I'm holding
that
out
there's
hope.
something.
I'm holding out hope for Kyle O'Reilly because he really impressed me with his match last week. I thought it was fantastic, or not last week, a couple weeks ago on Collision. I thought it was really good. So I'm holding out hope that he doesn't join the Dumpling Gang. But if he does, it might be Jover. It might be Jover for him.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. After that, we get a kind of a little recap of Copeland and his win of the TNT title.
Lot of
Kind of a
recap and promo
Yeah.
packages on this show. Any idea why, or were they just like one match short and they were like, we'll fill up the space elsewhere? Because they were like, most of them were good, but definitely, I think it was even by the Swerve one. I was like, look, I love this guy, but it's a lot of promo packages for one show.
I agree.
Yeah. I feel like it may have to do with like WrestleMania season, like WWE's going hard. Like maybe let's just pump the brakes and spin our wheels until Mania's over, because like maybe people aren't
Yeah.
paying so much attention.
Yep.
It's a good
Dude,
point.
what is the date for WrestleMania night 1 and 2?
6th
No?
and the 7th.
7.
Yeah, once that's all over with, like, there's no doubt in my mind that AEW's already has a plan for right when that's over to get some of that shine back. So,
Well, they'll still have
ki-
like 2 or 3 weeks before Dynasty, so that'll be where they really start announcing matches. Like we'll know Swerve and Joe, and then Wello and Julia and Danielson and Osprey, and I doubt we'll get any more matches until we're actually a bit closer.
yeah, I agree with you, Chad. That seems likely that they're just kind of like in a holding pattern,
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
waiting for all this to.
yeah, we are paying attention. We recapped the last Raw and SmackDown. We didn't even give a crap about a single match. Like all of their segments were fire. Other than Ricochet having a match, couldn't tell you even what any of the matches were.
Yeah.
But man, like
And
CM Punk, Cody.
People said that Raw was like the best Raw in maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
So, and there was like one good match, and everything else was just really good promos or really good segments. So, WWE is kind of in that same holding pattern too, where they're like, we're just not going to have matches because we don't want anyone injured before this show.
Yeah, let's see here. We've made it to our main event of the night. Swerve Strickland versus Takeshita. They kind of shake in the beginning, but they don't let go. Yeah, they've started off really like methodical and slow and thoughtful. Like it didn't start out with, high knees and poison ranas and quick stuff. We got Joe watching in the back. Swerve hits Takeshita with a uh, kind of a back uppercut. Takeshita hits Swerve with a sheer drop brainbuster. Then Takeshita hits Swerve with, or so hard that he flies out of the ring. Swerve gives Takeshita a Hurricane Rana on the outside, and then Swerve's shoulder gives out. So Takeshita knocks him out.
By the
Takeshita
way, I think
dives
that
on
might be my
Swerve.
new favorite moment in wrestling ever. That one little bit, I rewound it like 10 times. I couldn't get over it.
Dude, powerful. Takeshita dives on Swerve over the top rope in a very Kenny Omega-like dive. Swerve DDTs Takeshita from the corner and then gives him a Sky Twister. We get a Poison Rana and a Blue Thunder Bomb to Swerve with a 2 count. Takeshita gets Swerve stomped on the apron. Then Takeshita counters big pressure. Swerve kicks out of a pin after a knee to the face. Swerve hits the house call and then the Swerve stomp, but Takeshita kicks out at 2. Woo! We get a out of nowhere Swerve stomp that Swerve just uses Takeshita to
That was
get the
amazing.
leverage.
Yeah, it was like a pop-up. Like it
Yeah,
was
I think
insane.
they were like, oh, Takeshita was going for the pop-up power bomb, but Swerve just stomped him because he felt like it.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was my favorite part of the match.
Yeah.
Let's see. But Takeshita kicks out at 2. Swerve stomps Takeshita out of thin air. Then the big pressure for the win. Oh my gosh, yeah. What a lot of false finishes. I had no doubt that Swerve was gonna win, but a couple times, man, I was like, no way. Are they gonna have Swerve have to fight back again? Uh yeah, I was in doubt a little bit.
Yeah, there was that one
Uh
moment where Swerve got knocked out of the ring and he looked knocked silly. I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know if he's coming back. He was selling so well.
and I really like this like sports feel, like Renee interviewing Joe, like at the end there. Joe says Swerve's not ready. He's not that man. Uh, yeah, Swerve stands tall with the win. Yeah, good stuff. Really, really enjoyed it. Good episode.
Yeah. Before I go too far on this Takeshita Swerve match, I just remembered something I had in my notes about that sports feel. I think AEW is definitely stepping up their production because WWE is stepping up their production so much. They're like, okay, like we have better matches most of the time on TV, but if we're not showing them well, no one's going to care. So I really noticed it in the first match where it was so Shibata hit a suplex on Osprey to the outside, and like it was a perfect little camera like swivel, and it like just barely caught Shibata kicking Osprey, but it was like perfectly framed.
Yeah.
So like I think they're really stepping it up. But this match, holy shit. You just throw my 2 favorite guys in AEW together, and they're fighting to face my 3rd favorite guy in AEW for the title. Like, yeah, of course I'm gonna love this match. And I told both these guys off cam, but Swerve was my favorite guy and wrestler, or favorite wrestler in AEW. That's changed. Takesh is now my favorite wrestler in AEW. Like, this was the right call. I'm super stoked for Swerve to win the title. I cannot wait. But my God, this Takeshita guy, I can't get over him. I know I interrupted you, but I loved it so much where Takeshita was down, Swerve's getting his little comeback, is boom, 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 kind of like that Shibata Osprey thing where Osprey would get 3 punches in, and then Shibata would get 1, and that would be it. So just the way he like sold it, and Takeshita kind of looked at him and was like, okay, and just knocked him off his feet with the best elbow I've ever heard, and just the way the crowd shot up. And the way the commentary just went, oh, like it was perfect. And then, oh my gosh, just everything like that pop up to Swerve stomp. There was a bit where, so Swerve was going to the big pressure, and Takeshita countered and hit this stupid suplex. Because I thought he was going for a roll up, but then I was like, oh, Takeshita doesn't do roll ups. He's just gonna suplex your ass. And then he hit the insane overdrive knee, right? And I was kind of like, okay, that's it. And obviously Swerve kicked out. And I just loved on commentary where the commentary was like, oh, he kicked out. And then you hear Tony Schiavone go like, Don Callis got up from the desk because he thought it was over. And I was like, yeah, me too. And then you just hear Don Callis pipe in like, I don't know if you saw that. That should have been it. I don't know what you're talking about. So like everything about this match was fantastic from start to finish. I'll stop because I could just go back over the moves, and you did a great job, Dave. But I loved this match. And then, so here I am, like gushing about this match. Oh, Takeshi's the best. Joe just steals the spotlight because he looks at Swerve and he just goes, "You're not that man." And I was like, "This dude, he can't just steal the segment like at the end." So all in all, like I liked the show. It was good. But then you get to this main event. I loved it. I loved it so much. This might be one of my favorite matches in AEW since I've been watching it.
Yeah.
It's got to be up there.
Probably one of the best television matches. Like a non-pay-per-view match blew most pay-per-view matches out of the water.
Yeah. I really liked how kind of towards the end, did you catch Don Callis like, I kind of like this kid. Like talking about Swerve, he's like with the right tutelage. Like, ooh.
Don't make me fan buck away to get Takeshita back into this title scene, but like what if they cost Swerve the match, like, and it's like Kazanana or something, right? I don't think that's good. I think they should have face Swerve win, but I thought this was a really, really fantastic main event. I think I'm going to rewatch it as soon as we're done talking about it.
Heck yeah.
But do we want to go over what's announced for Collision? Because they announced some stuff. So obviously we have the 2 quarterfinal matches for the tag team tournament. We have FTR and Infantry. Does anyone think FTR is going to lose that? And then we have Ricky Starks.
FTR and who?
Infantry. Oh.
It's the bit.
Fell for it.
It's the bit.
For it. And then we have Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus they're back all right, Top Flight. So I'm glad to see
Big
Ricky
Bill
Starks.
and Ricky taking that.
I'm glad to see Ricky Starks back, but I don't think he's gonna have a very eventful 2024 unless he goes to the other place. And then we also have the Cope Open for the TNT title. So I really hope they pick a good name for that and not just like Griff Garrison again. Like, I don't know who, but
who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Good question. Surprise me, Tony Khan. That's what I'm asking for.
It's gonna be Dustin, right?
Of course, Dustin had his high-profile win. He's got to come back and lose that belt again.
He'll get a new Dustin streak of 4-2. Ooh. And then finally, it's Bryan Danielson, Claudio, and Shibata versus the Righteous Snakes, aka the Righteous and Lance Archer. So that should be fun.
That'll be the popcorn match of the night,
dude.
And then
I'm looking forward to that.
Most likely, I think they kind of said something in the Kyle O'Reilly interview, but he was like, "I'm looking for some action in Canada on Saturday." So I think it's pretty safe to assume Kyle O'Reilly will be on Collision.
I'm going to guess either Shane Taylor or Lee Moriarty.
I'd be fine with that. I think that'd be a fun match.
Either one. Yeah. Love them both. They've really grown on me.
You know what? Okay. I know I said surprise me, but if you did Shane Taylor for the Cope Open and Lee Moriarty for the Kyle O'Reilly fight, I don't think I'd be disappointed. I think that'd be fun. I think both would be fun.
Cool. I'm really excited that I'm happy to see Lee Moriarty, which I never would have thought.
He's kind of becoming like the 1-2-3 kid of Collision. Like when he finally gets that win, it's going to be huge.
We're going to be like, what? Shane Taylor won a match and Lee Moriarty too? I still think they should have been in this tag team tournament. I think you replace them with the Infantry. You give them the upset win over House of Black because that would be an upset win, and then they can lose to FDR, which I wouldn't want them to, but we're not looking at it like that. So
you're right, dude.
Yeah,
they should have just completely plugged in Lee and Shane and all the bits that the individual. Yeah, the whole like, hey, this is who we are. Like,
it's not a bad.
But then we
thing.
wouldn't have had that funny bit for our intro the other week.
That's true. That's true. Do we want to do highs and lows?
Yeah. Man, let's see. My high was that pop-up Swerve stomp on Takeshita. That just blew my mind when I saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Shoot, low for the week. The Tony Storm crap.
Yeah, as much as I love Tony Storm, and I would go on a limb that every single segment she's had has at least been good or funny or silly. And when she's on commentary, she's amazing. And this just felt like, I guess we don't have anything this week. Like, I would have rather just not had it on the show. Honestly, because she didn't mention Thunder Rosa, didn't mention Deonna Purrazzo, Mariah May wasn't even there.
Any story.
Luther wasn't even there. It was just like, we got to have Tony Storm on. But if I'm doing my lows, I think I might just copy you and say that might be my low, because everything else was maybe Monet on commentary, but she didn't I figured out early on I just need to like ignore her for this, which is sad for the new star. But I was like, I just need to not pay attention to her, and I still enjoyed the match a lot. So I don't think she ruined anything. And like the best friends and kingdom match, it was still fine, and it had a funny ending with the Bucks. So I'll give it to Tony Storm's little segment, and I'll just give my up to Takeshita this week. There was a perfect amount of Takeshita on this show.
Nice.
He came out of that looking even better too. Like
Yeah.
that elevated him for sure.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, he's taken 2 big losses this year, but oh no, he lost to that big new star. You ever heard of him, Will Osprey?
Yeah.
And he lost to the guy who's probably going to win the title next. So I think I'm fine with it. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and he's on television.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, my high, it was a toss-up between the Butcher's mustache, but at the end of the day, I loved the EVPs, everything they did on this whole episode.
Good.
Yeah, like I said, just the difference from them being checked out to all of a sudden they are locked in and their new direction. Every week I'm the biggest reason I'm tuning in is like, what are these assholes gonna do next?
Mm-hmm.
I mean that in the best of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Then my low was CEO. We got for probably one of the highest paid people in wrestling now is what I heard. What are you doing?
Well, at this point, why not have a match? Like, I think that's like, is there a reason you're not putting her in a match? Like, throw Red Velvet in the ring, throw Serena Deeb in the ring.
If they're not having the match, they should be laser focused on her story to get her to her first match in like Dynasty. Like, there should be some real heat, not this. I'm gonna kind of slowly, kind of passively comment on some of you guys during your match. Like,
maybe like what would be kind of interesting is like maybe after the match, Chris Statlander's kind of pissy because she lost, and she like shoulder barges Monet.
Yeah,
like that's a really small thing.
Give us something.
That would be like, ooh, we're setting up Statlander and Monet. That'd be interesting, and that'd be a good first win for Monet. But we're still kind of just plotting, and it feels like Willow and Monet will be the first match in AEW for Monet, and I don't think that's a good idea at all.
No, but
too far away.
Whether it's a bunch of alphas who like all should want whatever championship, and this just feels like kind of just passive and meh. Like,
it's like, if you want me to go for the title, I'll go for the title. It's not that big of a deal. Like, that's how it feels, which is not how this should be done.
Yeah, it should be like, I'm here to win championships. Even Jake Hager had it right that one time. Championships! That was all he would yell during one promo. It was great.
What happened to that guy? Who did he save? Wasn't it like Orange Cassidy?
Yeah, he did recently. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And we were all just like, huh? Okay. And it was only because it was Oklahoma or whatever, and he's from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But that was,
I didn't hate it.
I was just like, oh, it's because they look alike.
They do. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I wanted him to dress up like Orange Cassidy and wear jean.
That would have take Trent Beretta out, put Jake Hager in, and they just both come out looking like Orange Cassidy.
Ooh, okay. So when Chucky and Trent turn on OC,
Hager's
running out.
Okay. I'm kind of starting to like this.
I want it.
I'm kind of starting to. This is like when we were like booking the Meat Madness, and we were like, it's gonna replace the C2. It's gonna be that big.
So like Hager's whole gimmick in AEW for a while was like his like Bellator career, undefeated MMA. Like, he was booked as like a really big threat, but yeah, that kind of just when the purple hat thing happened, he like kind of turned him comedy for sure. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, all right, episode. I'm looking forward to Collision now. Looks like a lot of good matches on that card. I think I'm most excited for the popcorn match. Danielson, Shibata, Claudio versus the Snake Pit, the righteous snakes.
I think I'm just looking forward to seeing Ricky Starks again because we haven't seen him since he lost the belt to Sting and Darby. Which how long ago was that? That was like a month or two ago. So I'm glad he's back.
I did read that Jake the Snake re-signed with AEW for another year too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does have a backstage role too. Man, I'm sure people pick his brain all the time. He's like the mastermind of like wrestling psychology.
Yeah. Go to him for promo help. Go to him for maybe a little producing.
Yeah. Did you guys hear of the new COO that AEW officially hired, I guess?
Ooh.
Let's see. His name
Is it Nick
is
Khan? Dun dun dun.
let me find
Vince McMahon.
it. That was kind of yesterday's big news.
I guess there is kind of some news just while you're thinking about it. Apparently, people think Brock Lesnar might make it to Mania. Because they did find A, there's been reports that they're trying to get him back somehow, and B, someone spotted a little like truck and he was in the promotional, like it was a WrestleMania truck and he was on it. So hopefully he was cleared of all allegations because it was still rumored. I don't think his name ever fully came up, but it was like they were trying to sign a UFC champion. There's not that many of them that worked in WWE.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Ronda Rousey.
Okay, it says here earlier today, AEW President Tony Khan confirmed the hiring of Kosha Irby, who now serves as the company's chief operating officer. With this role, Irby will oversee a number of departments, including marketing, finance, human resources, live events, consumer products, and licensing. He worked with WWE a couple years ago. Yeah, I always get excited about them hiring backstage,
Right.
People like that. I think Tony Khan needs all the help he can get.
Yeah, I feel like we've been seeing the improvements. So, like, their production's been looking better. The storylines are getting a little tighter. So,
yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for WrestleMania season to die down and AEW to come back full force. I agree with you, Chad. They're just kind of like, treading water right now. They know. They know.
Yeah, it's the biggest time in wrestling, no matter what.
Yeah.
So, and like that's why a lot of other there's even a Ring of Honor show on WrestleMania weekend. I think they have it the Friday. So, like, there's always going to be stuff on WrestleMania weekend. I wonder what that collision's going to be like. Main event is going to be Lee Moriarty versus Shane Taylor, grudge match. They both lose because they can both lose.
Yeah. Dusty finish. Nobody wins, baby.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I think that just about does it. Unless you two have anything you want to contribute.
Oh yeah, I did have one after Alan Angel's shock win at Prestige the other weekend. Did you hear what his first defense is going to be?
Oh, did he win the Prestige title?
He did.
Oh, who is it?
Shockingly, over their 2-year title holder over Alex Shelley. His first defense is going to be in their California show against the Dark Order's Evil Uno.
What?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Cool. I kind of want to watch that.
Damn. Okay.
Probably gonna have to get that on what is it called? IWTV.
IWTV.
Yeah.
Damn, I kind of want to get that now. Cool. Okay, I'm okay with that. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I think Shelly dropped that belt from Prestige because the
Oh, they're
Motor City
signing.
Machine Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to AEW for sure.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
That or the Fed, either or. They can end up at either place.
Yeah, I think they'd probably do better in AEW. Well, okay, I'm thinking of
FTR.
Grizzled Young Veterans because Grizzled Young
Yeah.
Veterans were in WWE for a long time, and then they finally just got released. But FTR at least started well in WWE. It's just when they were brought up to the main roster, Vince McMahon doesn't like tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
So that's just never going to work out.
Cool. Well, yeah, everyone out there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Give us a like, leave us a comment, anything you want us to talk about, anything you agree with, disagree. Yeah, elbow drop that like button, power bomb that subscribe button, and leave a comment. Also, if you don't want to watch us, you can listen to us where all podcasts are found on the audio realm. Yeah, we're got quite a few episodes uploaded on that also, and people are listening to them, oddly enough.
Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you. Yeah.
And make sure to check out all our short form videos that are not just 2-hour long podcasts. I know Dave and Chad have been busting out a lot of top fives. There's top 5 variations of the Pile Driver. We just
Great
uploaded...
video. You got to watch it, by the way. It was excellent.
You won't believe number 2. And then, of course, there's the top 5 craziest dumps in WWE this time. And, of course, make sure to check out the weekly WWE cap that Chad and I did.
Yeah, that one's all killer, no
And
filler.
also, keep an eye out for our retro view. Our first one coming out will be WCW Halloween Havoc 1997. Finishing that up, and that should be up maybe in a day or two. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to see a whole lot of people I've never seen wrestle before, and even one of the most boring matches on the card was my favorite match, just because it was ended in silly bollocks. So you're gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, yeah, thank you for watching. We're really enjoying doing this. Wrestling is a big part of all 3 of our lives. There's no doubt about that. We could be doing a lot of other normal things in our lives, but we'd rather be doing this, to be quite honest. But yeah, thank you for watching. We love doing this. Let us know how we're doing. Give us your opinion, and we will get back to you and improve anything we need to improve, or not change anything we don't need to change. So yeah, thank you for watching, and that just about does it. Thank you very much, and thank you, Chandler. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Daver. Got it right this time.
It's the Daver.
The Daver. Yep. Cool. All right. Catch us next time, and have a good one. Thank you very much. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.